We have been talking about vaccinations so steadily now, it might surprise you to know that the first Pfizer shots in America were administered less than a year ago. Now, with 191 million Americans considered fully vaccinated, we're talking about boosters. And Dr. Paul is back with us to get people prepared for the boosters. Do you have to get prepared for a booster?
I'm prepared. I'm celebrating. Mine is tomorrow morning, 7:45.
And you're staying in lane, the same
I'm
medicine?
staying in lane because I got a Moderna vaccine, so I'm going to get a Moderna booster, making sure it's 50 micrograms. So I had to call around a little bit to do that. One thing I'm definitely not doing tonight is drinking anything.
Right.
No glasses of wine, nothing. Get a good night's rest. Make sure I'm not taking any ibuprofen, Benadryl, or Tylenol ahead of time, anticipating that I may have a reaction because the CDC advises against that. We don't know how that affects your...
Show up clean.
Show up clean. Take the day off, which is why I scheduled it on a Friday, because by the time the side effects kick in, it'll be the end of the day. And I found my vaccine card, which I have to take.
Yeah. Well,
Get
okay, take your vaccine card so they can update, even if you're in that My Colorado thing. So what are the effects we're seeing with the booster? Is it similar to the second shot, or are people saying, oh, I felt this or I felt that?
Yeah, there's a lot of nervousness about what we would see, but thankfully we're seeing same magnitude or intensity of side effects as the second shot, with some people even having a lower intensity of side effects. Because remember, the point of the booster is because our immune system starts to go down, so we're not seeing as much immune activation as we saw that second time around. Now, we are seeing some swollen lymph nodes that we didn't see with the original reaction. 1 out of 20 people who get the Pfizer booster will have a swollen lymph node on that side that's tender. It can last for about a week. It's not dangerous. It doesn't have any concerning findings associated with it, and it goes away.
Trying to think of why you might want to put off the booster. One would be if you're planning on going out drinking. But
Otherwise, what?
But what would be a situation, you know, if you're planning to go in clean and you decide maybe I should wait?
There are a few, actually. And just the other day, I had a friend of mine call me, and she has a sinus infection, and she's taking amoxicillin. And that is not a time to go get the booster when you're currently being treated with antibiotics for any other infection. If you have an asthma flare and you're on steroids that turn off your immune system, that's not a time to take it either. Now, it's different for people who chronically take steroids. Those are those immunocompromised people. But if you're just taking it for a short period of time, you have a fever, you have an illness, or you've had a vaccine within the 2 weeks before,
Any vaccine?
Any, like shingles.
Flu shot.
Well, the flu shot's a little bit different because the CDC is giving specific guidance that you can take that together.
Okay.
At the same time, that's what I
But
thought.
it's more the other vaccines, Pneumovax, your shingles vaccine, or anything else.
And you mentioned that Tylenol, ibuprofen the night before. There's some people, though, that have to do that for pain management. Is that safe?
Yeah, so after, as a reactive, if your fever is going up, you have a headache, you have muscle aches, it's okay to take it.
Okay.
Take the lowest dose that you need. Don't just take a handful just because you don't want to feel any muscle aches. But we don't think it's going to have that much of an effect taken after. But we don't recommend taking antihistamines, Tylenol, or ibuprofen before.
Not before, and certainly you
after.
can afterwards
If you need
feel
to.
okay with
But
it.
most people within 48 hours will have those side effects go away anyhow.
All right.
I'll let you know next week how long mine lasted.
Well, I'm sure it's going to go fine, and
You'll feel boosted.
That's right.
you are boosted.
I'm boosted.
You're getting boosted. I'm getting boosted next week. So we'll get
Wonderful.
together. Next time we gather, we'll all be so darn boosted, people won't be able to stand us.
I know, we'll be just riding high.
Let's hope, right? Dr. Paul, as always, we appreciate you coming by and telling us more. Thanks.
Okay.